Niña, girl.
Girl.
Yeah, do you like?
Yeah, I like.
His name is Kevin. I've been asked not to reveal his last name because he came from El Salvador to the U.S. illegally. Now, the 22-year-old believes the American president wants him and everyone like him deported, while others in El Salvador want him dead. Imagine checking your voicemail and hearing this. It says, essentially, we drove by your house and you weren't there. Do you think your mother will enjoy watching as we kill you? Last summer, back in El Salvador, his family got into a dispute with a relative who, it turned out, belonged to one of the most violent gangs in the Americas. I was beaten, threatened, and it was a life I didn't want to live, he says. His father had snuck into the U.S. illegally years ago, so in December, Kevin crossed the Rio Grande in a raft, then got caught. And because the detention facility was full, they sent me to prison, he says. Kevin might have stayed in detention for years like some migrants he met, if not for a chance meeting about 10 years ago.
I met him at Home Depot.
Artist Matthew Monahan met Kevin's father in L.A., and the two became friends. So when the family learned what happened to Kevin, they paid his bond and flew him here to be reunited with his dad until his asylum hearing. It was, Monahan says, his own stand against Donald Trump.
The fact that there was one case, one way that I could concretely help was empowering.
But in recent months, Kevin's situation has become much more precarious. First, Trump ended a humanitarian program that had allowed hundreds of thousands of Salvadorans to stay in the U.S. Then, his attorney general ordered judges to stop granting asylum to most victims of gang violence. There went Kevin's plan.
As more and more people are trying to escape from gang violence.
11-year-old Tingri Monahan was so touched by Kevin's situation, she focused her major math project on the statistics explaining why migrants like Kevin are showing up by the thousands at the border.
What I'm doing right now is just having my voice be heard and showing to the public and to the community that this stuff matters.
Thanks to the Monahans, the community raised $30,000 for Kevin's legal fees.
Oh, this is one of the classrooms.
Seeing Tingri's school for the first time, Kevin can't help but think back to his own childhood. I was so happy, full of dreams and plans, he says, not worried about anything. Now, Kevin worries that because the U.S. will no longer grant asylum to those fleeing gang violence, he could get deported, possibly even before his court date in August. It's inevitable, he says. If I go back, they'll kill me.
Tu amigo?
Sí. Kevin shows me a picture of his best friend in the black. The back of his head is just gone. He was hacked to death by the same gang, Kevin says, that's looking for him.
Muy triste, ¿no? Muy triste.
Very sad, he says.
I am a boy.
I am a boy. Oh, yeah.
Then it's back to learning English, one word at a time.
Move it.
Hoping that eventually he'll have a reason to use them all.
Ta-da!
Kim Brunhuber, CBC News, Los Angeles.
You got it.
Hey, Sessions! Where's your heart? Where's your heart?
In Los Angeles today, protesters showed their frustration with Attorney General Jeff Sessions for his part in the separation of families seeking asylum. Sessions was scheduled to speak at a justice conference.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly.
Police warned the crowd to disperse, then arrested 25 people, including a number of clergy.